Welcome to Megapath Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk about Negan and looking back at Terminus. Now, on the screen, you see an image that was shared with me on Twitter. I believe the person who shared it with me is called Eugenius, something like that. Handle is Jeffrey Dean Morgan, it looks like. Jeffrey Dean Negan, sorry. And I just glanced at that quick, and it looks like there's a watermark from Daily Dose of Dead or some shit like that. So hopefully that's the right person. I know a lot of times people just grab pictures that are already made off the internet and put watermarks on them. That's not how it works, you fuckers. Holy shit. If you make the picture, if you put the shit together, if you do the memes, yes, you put it. If it's your image, yes, you do it. But not if you just take somebody else's meme, or fucking creation. You don't just put your own watermark on it, you dumb shit. Anyway, rant over. Listen, this image got me thinking, and it got me thinking because the writers, even Greg Nicotero, Scott Gimple, they always talk about, after the project's done, they always show the hints that they put in, the foreshadowing, some of the setup, and I believe recently in the commentary, if I remember, it was for this episode, No Sanctuary, and they purposely put, I think it was Greg Nicotero who said it was his idea, or talked about it being his idea, to purposely put Glenn in the trailer almost gonna get hit, to mess with the fans, to get us riled up and shit. And I think that was great. At the time, I was a little bit concerned, and I was weirded out that they would do something like that because it was identical. It led me to believe that Glenn's not getting a death. They wouldn't do something like that and then give Glenn a death. But there could be stuff hidden here. You never know, because Look at what you got. Look at the similarities. You have Rick Grimes telling Gareth, the red handle, that's what I'm going to use to kill you, you know? Then you have Rick Grimes telling Negan, I'm going to kill you. They're on their knees in almost the same exact setup, kind of, sort of, you know what I mean? At Terminus, they're on their knees, hands are bound up, and he's talking to Gareth. Gareth is kneeling down. Negan's standing up when he comes over to talk to Rick, and then Negan kneels down. He kneels down to get in the same position. They do a lot of this shit on purpose. Don't tell me this is just coincidence. They do this shit on purpose. I can see them as they're plotting out how they're going to film this scene, and I guarantee you they tell Jeffrey Dean Morgan, well, they have to tell him to kneel down because they got the camera positioning and shit, but I'm telling you what, they position the camera, they have the characters kneeling to resemble Terminus. It's too similar. And then think about it. You have them getting beat with a baseball bat. Glenn is right about to get hit, and then you have Gareth say, okay, how many bullets did you guys shoot? And they stopped. And then you have Carol doing the explosion. I mean, your mind can start wandering and then be like, okay, well, Carol's not around. You know, before she stopped it, now she's not around. We can start to try to, and I know it's a stretch when you start to, think about all this stuff, but if you keep thinking long and hard enough, you'll come up to good foreshadowing where, okay, maybe the Carol stuff is a stretch, but you gotta find it interesting that Glenn was right about to get hit with the baseball bat. He was right about to have his dome cracked open, and then there was that interruption. Now we're with Negan. Negan has a baseball bat, and it's likely that he might kill Glenn. He might kill any one of them, but Glenn is a fan favorite for that death. You know what I mean? A lot of fans are speculating it will be Glenn. It was Glenn in the comic, so they could be messing with us still, or the season 5 could be a very cruel setup that this entire time he survived Terminus, this entire time he's been living on borrowed time. And that's what I don't understand, why some fans like to write some things off easily. We have this channel, or at least we discuss in this community, a lot of us, because we enjoy it, whether it's right or wrong. And I think some people disregard things too easy, like with the watch. Listen, okay, you guys said it was a ring, or some of you said it was a ring, like Maggie's ring. And I know some people are like, oh, well, Glenn dies, and then Maggie's crying, and she drops her ring into a bloody pile of mess. That, to me, that's ridiculous. That is so silly. It doesn't even make sense. Imagine how laughable that might look if she's all sad and crying and she just takes her ring off and drops it in his, crime scene. Anyway, so I kind of wrote that off, but I also brought up the watch idea. You guys sent me that picture, and I said, you know what, it might be possible. And I see a lot of fans instantly going, well, no, that's stupid. How would he be holding his watch? How would his watch get hit? And yada, yada, yada. And I think sometimes we just overlook the fact that it could be easily explained as if, and this connects to season 5, if Glenn is dragged out to the middle, everyone's worried about positioning, but Last season was impressionistic. They might change things around. Imagine if they drag Glenn out to the middle, right? And his watch falls out. He pulls his watch out. Maybe someone walks over and hands, like they frisked him, they took all his shit. He hands Negan his watch. It could be a million different things. Not a million, but maybe 4 or 5 different things. It could be anything. And if Negan drops the watch on the ground and then just, the tip of Lucille just brings Lucille down. I'm not talking about smashing like he does the victim, but just with the top of the bat, as if the bat is a cane, just crush. He smashes the watch and he says, "Your time is up," It could be easily explained as something as easy as that. But I know a lot of us are like, oh, it has nothing to do with the watch. But if you look at it, Scott Gimple is obsessed with showing time. He talks about it all the time in the commentaries. We see it in the story when we break it down. He's obsessed with time. Time is going to play a factor. That watch, if it is Glenn, it will play a role somehow, some way. And if Negan does smash it, maybe he makes a quib, which in my head it sounds a little silly if Negan were to say, "Oh, your time is up," some shit like that. Okay, but it could be something else. It could be similar to that, just something else. But then think about that. Think about how powerful that message is. He's been living on borrowed time since season 5. Boom! It's just too powerful. But basically, I wanted to discuss this in one of these, off-camera little podcast-style videos because I just don't have the time. I'm about to leave out the door, and it's either record it like this or don't make the video at all. But I'm actually dying to know what you guys think about this topic. I'm going to kick this over to you guys. If you look into this and you find nothing at all, then let us know. That's fine. That's cool. If you look into this and you find some more interesting stuff, leave it down in the comment box. There's definitely something here. I feel it in my gut. I feel like there's too much hints here as far as what do we have right now. Maybe I'm making this bigger than it is, but we have the baseball bat at both Negan kill site and Terminus. They get cracked and killed with a hit to the head with a baseball bat. We have the scenes filmed almost identical with Rick kneeling down or on his knees and then Negan kneeling down just like Rick and Gareth. We have them lined up, which is just like them lined up at the trough. Now, keep in mind, the trough, the Terminus stuff, that was not in the comic. That means they made it for the show for a specific purpose, and I feel like that purpose is more than just having it as added suspense and tension, more than a cool scene. I think there's something there. There just has to be. It feels like it, Think about that. They're lined up, baseball bat, kneeling down, "I'll kill you." Oh, I don't know. I love this shit. I love this shit. I have so much fun with this shit. I wish I could break down some of this with you guys more, but I'm going to get going. This weekend, I'm working hard as fuck on my comic. I'm making some other different tweaks and changes, and then we're getting very close to being done and coming out. So stay tuned for more information. So I don't know how many videos I could put out this weekend. I do know I got a couple videos. One video that's been waiting for a whole month to come out. I feel terrible. It's so late, but I'm getting to that. It's a review of something that's really cool. But stay tuned, guys. I got some videos coming, and then next week we're gonna have a big hoorah leading up to the season 7 premiere. I'm so freaking excited. Thoughts and opinions in the comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn.
Subscribe now.